Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name's John Bull, and this is another Solely Voids episode, your free-to-play series where we only use Void champions. Okay, new Forge Pass, so we always have a variety of different weird missions we're up to. Probably not going to go as hard on this particular one as it's the Defiant set. I don't really see a huge need for that. It's not that it's a bad set, good set, just not like crucial. 10% defense, minus 15% damage taken from AoE attacks. Good, not something we necessarily need. Otherwise, we've kind of been all over the place. We've been focusing live arena a lot. I actually did not complete all of my keys last night, and nor did I complete all my wins. I fell asleep mid-battle. So, either way, you know, we're just kind of plugging away there, trying to minimize the amount of losses. 3 losses we get in a row. We've repiled up a bunch of these crests. So, upon the next iteration of Faction Wars, or rotation of Faction Wars, rather, is a better word. You know, we'll kind of reevaluate where we need to go with some of those to ensure that we're making some progress. I guess we got Shadowkin opening up soon, and we've made some significant gains into some leveling. Nothing major, but I think we did, you know, we got Fanatic to 5-star. We got some masteries going into them. We're making gains. It's slower than what we'd want it to be. I would definitely want it to be a little bit faster. But ultimately, that is not why I'm here today. Today, I'm here because you may have seen I have a new emblem, and actually that emblem is pretty sweet. Where's it at? Right here. And it's the last Doom Tower one. So I've officially cleared all stages of Doom Tower hard for all rotations. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of go just boss by boss, breaking down what did I do for each of those. Some of them you have seen, and we won't take too much of your time on it, but yeah, just kind of a quick little recap of how did I beat every boss solely voids. Okay, first boss is the Griffin. You've seen this team before, but we just nick and Noel it because they're so tanky. Use your Carl to clear the waves, and then honestly, it's mostly Noel's Brimstone that's killing the boss, but we do use Frenzy in there as a bit of a burner. And then Togren's there to kind of help cleanse, help stay alive, and heal. It's kind of a weird team. Like, they die. It's not necessarily the most efficient, but it gets the job done. So I'm going to click start right now, and then we'll just see you at the boss. All right, now that we've made it to the boss, pretty easy. We just, honestly, we have not put a ton of thought into this team because we just threw this team together, and it works. And, you know, just, it's mostly more Master Procs, I'm pretty sure. Clear it out with some Brimstone here or there. We try to, the best of our ability, you know, have champions that are going to be able to interact by, like, cleansing everybody off and things like that. And that's what Togren is there for. But I would say this team is nothing special. I don't think it's necessarily highly tuned, but once you start getting enough stats into champions, I don't think the Griffin is necessarily a very difficult boss to clear. It looks like, I don't know what's going on with your Carl on this particular team. He keeps, like, walking back slowly in a weird, awkward way. But in this team, it does seem like Yakarl dies a lot. He is mostly there for the wave clearing. It is a bit awkward that we have the block buffs. Yeah, block buffs that goes up, and then it always seems to get reflected back at us. But, you know, even when this ticker gets up to 20, it hasn't really seemed like it's mattered too much. Ultimately, because we have the cleanse going through there, and yeah, not necessarily a tuned team, but I think this is also just a testament of what most people can just do. Once you start getting through to the boss, just having proper stats, like high level of stats, is honestly just going to beat the Griffin. And you can just see that Yakarl just gets picked on the entire fight. And so that is kind of that. I guess we'll just kind of ride this out till the end, and I'll probably just run at 2x speed right now and till we get to the final fight. Or not final fight, but the end of the fight, rather. There it is. Actually got a little scuffed at the end there. Normally it is, I don't know. Our best is 250. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe the way that their maybe cooldowns lined up at the beginning of the fight might have impacted it. But ultimately, that's what we did with the Griffin. Okay, Magma Dragon. This one we're doing something fairly similar. We're not using Nick and Noel to try to clear this through. We have 2 cleansers, just if we get a burn out there by chance. And then we are just using the Brimstone, the poisons, the hitting from Yakarl, and the ally attack from the Queen of Hearts to try to take it down. Notice we don't have a provoker in here for the most part. We are normally able just to kind of cruise through and kill it out good. So let's just go ahead and run to the boss and see what that looks like. Okay, now that we're here, we're just kind of putting in everything that we can. So we just are trying to be as beefy as possible, but then using ally attack really to kind of take the boss down. It is pretty convenient though that we have 2 cleansers, because as you can see we have burns and hex going out there, and then Lady Noelle is also going to keep us going fast as well as healing us up. And yeah, so ultimately we just try to kind of out damage the boss, kind of similar to the previous one. I don't really have necessarily like a good boss killer. I guess my best would be, I don't know, Cold Heart. I guess Mithrala probably falls into that category because we have her in regen and she's got a bunch of poisons. But yeah, we just try to be as beefy and takey as possible. Yakarl really honestly is there to try to clear the waves fast. Though he's a decent damage dealer, against bosses he's just not super efficient, unless you're utilizing his turn meter steal and decrease speed. Yeah, I think the addition of Queen of Hearts to this whole account has been huge because, you know, it just enables a team like this would take way longer had we not had the ally attack, because that's just more Brimstone, more War Master procs, you know, all that different stuff. So I'm not sure I've ever seen the Togren go down, so he must have taken pretty significant hit there with his hex, but at the same time he's not the one dealing most of the damage there, and we do have a reviver, so I'm not too worried about it. Pretty safe fight is what it looks like. Yeah, so this account could really use like an Acrizia. Well, most accounts could use an Acrizia, but I think this account in particular could use like an Acrizia to try to really increase the speed of some of these Dune Tower fights, because we just want to be able to kill the boss fast, and we just don't necessarily have that, at least efficiently. So, all right, that's the Magma Dragon. Pretty straightforward. You know, not a ton of thought put into this, but I don't think either of those 2 bosses, the first 2 bosses, are all that difficult. Okay, Nether Spider. Here's our game plan for the Nether Spider. What we're going to do is we have a Nick and Noelle team with Mithrala to help cleanse and then provide us shielding and such. But then the Noelle and the Yakarl are going to provide freezes to either freeze the spiderlings or, in Yakarl's case, absolutely just wreck them. Believe it or not, the Cold Heart is actually in there mostly for the stop or the heal reduction, which stops this spider from healing. And then the big nuke is also applicable here. I do think that this is a team that has required, yeah, so like as you can see, Yakarl, we've turned off his AoE freeze so he can open with it. We turned off her Heartseeker. We turned off her cleanse all in the second round, just so we can have all of these available when we get to the actual boss itself. So this is a team that we've actually had to put quite a bit more thought into. So let's jump to the boss. Okay, so now that we're here, what you're really going to see is we're going to take a bunch of, obviously, poisons. Mithrala is going to be the one cleansing a lot of that off, but we're going to put unkillables up. The AoE there is to try to freeze those spiderlings, and we want to keep those guys frozen as much as possible. And so if we can keep the unkillable up and those spiderlings frozen, we're going to be able to churn through this boss actually kind of with ease. The decreased speed is going to be nice because it's just going to lower the amount of turns that spider is taking. Getting a little bit dicey here, actually. I don't run this a lot. It's not like a team that I've farmed, so I haven't actually seen this team fail. But I'm sure that it's definitely susceptible to being a failing team. Okay, so we're adding spiders in here. And, especially it's kind of just requires a fair amount of, do some of our abilities line up? So, we need those other two spiderlings to be frozen. So, is Lady Noelle going to get the freeze out in time? It looks like we are. But as long as we have that heal reduction down, we are normally pretty safe at getting it. And then, we utilize Brimstone. We utilize the big hitting Heartseeker from Cold Heart. And haven't seen it fail. But like I said, again, I could see it maybe falling down. So I'll just do the same thing. I'll go 2x speed. It's going to take a little bit of time. Nothing crazy, but we will just kind of see at the end of the fight. There it is. There it is. Yeah, so must either be a pretty consistent time or that was a fairly good run. Yeah, so, it's exactly what I said. There's just zero need for me to ever to forge this, so I don't actually watch this team a whole lot. I just had put some time into building it and then kind of followed through with that. So this is the one that we haven't beaten yet, and so yesterday was the first time we had beaten it. So I actually did try to just throw out there a very generic team, like a Toghren team with Yakarl and, some of these other champions, trying to think I'll just probably outstat it again, have better stats than what the boss is going to have, and just, be able to tank it through with a variety of the team. That was actually not the case. We did manual this. But this is also, again, not going to be a boss that I'm going to farm, so I really don't have a big issue doing that. So, here's the team, and then I'll talk through why I chose these teams, okay? Or these people. Mithrala, Lady Noelle, Queen of Hearts, Incensa, and then Yakarl. Okay, Yakarl's there for damage dealing and wave killing. He's just my best damage dealer, overall damage dealer. He also has the freeze as well. Mithrala there, cleanse, sustainability, things like that. Same with Lady Noelle, the AoE freeze and revive. But then the biggest thing that I wanted champions with strong A1s. And I wanted champions with strong A1s because he is going to increase the cooldown of all of our champions, and additionally, he's also going to put us on block active skills. So, having a cleanser is going to be important with that. But then, Incensa is going to be bringing in Yakarl to attack with his A1, and his A1 is pretty strong. And so that is going to allow me to kill the ads fairly efficiently. And then Queen of Hearts boosting our turn meter as she A1s over and over again while decreasing their defense is just absolutely amazing. So, again, I'm going to have to manual this fight but no big deal. I'll see you at the boss. Okay, so now we're rolling up here, and the biggest thing is, you know, I want to try to get that decreased defense and weaken out on everybody. Man, I think I use this right off the bat. There's not really one rhyme or reason why we're doing that. I think we just wanted increased speed because it's probably going to get put on cooldown. And so a lot of our damage is going to come through just a variety of War Master procs in addition to Brimstone, and then the ally attack is also pretty helpful. I think I can open with a Hex and get a Hex out there because I think everything here in a moment is going to get put on cooldown. We can't decrease the turn meter of this boss. So we are, like I said, here we're going to rely on strong A1. So this A1 here is an AoE with a chance to decrease attack, but then highest crit damage is going to join in the attack. So it's going to bring you Carl in. So we're going to try to take down one of these bosses. I'm not sure why he attacked the boss there. Maybe I misclicked. But then here, so now we have this decreased defense on everybody also. And so it's just going to make it a little bit easier for me to actually target these. And so now I get my cooldowns back. Okay, so with my cooldowns, you know, I have the option of getting the weaken out on everybody, or maybe preferably getting the poison cloud out is going to be my choice here. I don't think I need to freeze those guys because I don't think they're going to provide a whole lot of damage dealing. So we will just try to maybe kill one off. And you do want to try to kill these off if you're able to, because he'll like eat them, I guess. I don't know a better way of putting it. And then they will heal him up. And the heal is pretty big. So we're just going to try to stay on top of the debuffs. Once you get going, it's pretty fast moving. Now, see, we have the block active skills, and now we can kind of cleanse it all out. And then this is just kind of how it goes. The ally attack, the A1 from Incense, is absolutely insane. It's so good. So good. But then obviously the Queen of Hearts is also extremely good. And then kind of pairing those two together is all just real nice. It doesn't go unheard of that Incensa also has Relentless gear on her. So that it means sometimes she does pick up an extra turn, which kind of unlocks some of her abilities. Okay, so I have not had Yakarl die yet, so this is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because we're going to really need to try to get back to Queen of Hearts here before the boss can go. So we're going to Poison Cloud her up. So that boosts the turn meter also. So hopefully nobody dies here. Okay. I think we are going to have to cleanse. Or, yeah, and shield just so Yakarl has a chance of living. And then those guys are almost dead. I think I need to do this instead of try to attack. Okay. Oops, and I attacked the wrong guy. The positioning of this guy seems to move. I don't know if there's a rhyme or a reason behind that. But ultimately, it does. Again, some of these get a little bit dicey. You can see that heal 630,000, pretty big and significant. So we just have to kind of cycle through some of our abilities here. We're going to get back to Queen of Hearts, or Lady Noelle, rather. We will get here. We'll go ahead and just do that now because we know that will be a decent little chunk of damage. But we just need to get Incensa back up without everybody else dying. Okay. Not looking like my best run here. Once I manualed it the last time, it went pretty smooth, I'm not gonna lie. So we are gonna have to freeze everybody, bring them all back. Okay. And then we need to try to kill this guy here. I don't know why he keeps bringing in and attacking the boss when I'm clearly not attacking him. Okay. Don't die. Come on now. Okay, so now we can probably heal here. And then heal here. And then maybe ally attack. See if we can maybe try to get one of these dead. Okay. Early in the turn cycle, revive, hex, decrease defense and weaken. That is probably going to be significant. I wish I had my ally attack now. I think I'm going to save that because actually there's no reason for me to save that, I think. But okay. Feeling a little bit more confident now. Good thing we kept the cleanse because now, not that we particularly need it, but that'll just give us a little extra layer of protection. Try to save you, Carl. I think we're going to be in the clear here as long as all the significant players stay alive. Mithrala being a resistance tank is pretty clutch here because she is allowing the cleanse. Her cooldowns are rarely on cooldown, and that's how we did it. Again, not necessarily the most efficient farm, but we know we are not farming this, so you know, not a big deal for us to manual it once every 3 months to try to get it through Doom Tower. Otherwise, folks, I always appreciate everybody stopping in. Go ahead and comment down below. How long did it take you to beat all the Doom Tower hard rotations? Looks like it took me slightly over a year. We'll call it 1 year or 1 month. Otherwise, folks, don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you on the other side.